What is up, and welcome back to another episode of So There's That. I'm your hostess, doing the mostest, Kimanchi, and it is time for the finale of The Couple Next Door. You already know how it is. Yo, I have been taken for a ride. I hope y'all feel like you've been taken for a ride, and I hope that you enjoyed it. Season 1, episode 6. Crimes of passion. I don't have to tell you what the definition of that means, and I'm actually really shocked that for the finale episode we went that on the nose for the title, but you know, it is what it is. We had episode 5 with the ultimatum, we had episode 4 with the miracle, and so it's not their first time doing it. But it's like, oh, it kind of gives away something. But what a journey it has been. Okay, let's just dive into this episode. So last episode, one of the things that we saw was Pete coming out drunk. There was a tussle with one of the goons that came over. Pete lied and told Danny that he didn't see the gun, or that the guy ran off with the gun. Turns out Pete, drunk ass, took the gun. So we open it up. Danny is calling Pete to check on him. Blinds are not open. None of that. He's looking across the street trying to figure out what's going on, make sure he's okay. Because he told him he would check on him in the morning. Pete not answering his phone. Pete not answering his phone because Pete's passed the fuck out. Sirs, please. Thank you. Okay. So he's getting dressed and everything, and he ends up coming around the corner. And who does he see? Ollie and Ethan. Yes, Ethan is at his house, and Becka is overlooking them while looking in the newspaper. He looks at Becka and it literally looks like he wants to die. So he got to sit over here and smile at his sons and pretend as if Becka knew about this the whole time. But then every time he look at Becka, he already knows that she knows. He knows he is in a world of trouble, like a world of trouble. But before we get into Becka hemming him up by the back of his t-shirt, Evie is at her parents' house floating. She's over here moving around like Snow White. She's moving around like Aurora, Cinderella after she got married. Like, my sis is on cloud 9. And her mama's like, girl, is everything okay? And she's like, yes, the good Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, God has shined down on me. And her dad, being the pastor that he is, he's like, yes, I'm so excited that you're accepting God back into your life. And the mama like, something is off, girl. And she's like, no, I just wanted to come see my parents. Oh my God, Dad, is a cabin available? I just need some space. I just want to decompress. This pregnancy, I just feel like everything is just gonna be so good. And so they're like, okay, yeah, we can go together and, you know, fix up the cabin. And the mama is literally washing dishes, and she like, okay, because she know her child. Like, no matter how much devotion or anything like that she got to her husband, the mama is in tune. And I've been asking for people to be in tune with Evie this whole time for the last 3 episodes. The mama is in tune. And the dad is just being like, no, like, you know, let's just revel in the fact that, you know, Evie is here, she's talking to us. Because one of the last times that they talked, Evie went the fuck off at Sunday dinner. So, you know, he's just happy to have his daughter there. And the mama ain't really had no beef like that with Evie. And so that's probably why she's recognizing, like, while the dad may be looking at this as like a chance to kind of rekindle their father-daughter relationship, the mama is not no fucking fool. And she knows something is up, but she's like, okay, I'm gonna just trust it. I'm gonna trust her, but I'm gonna keep my antennas up. Okay. Well, back with Danny. Okay. So we find out that when Danny was blowing up Gary's phone all last episode, of course he wasn't gonna be able to reach him. My man is in jail, okay? He is in the interrogation room and he is beat the fuck up. But he got some scrapes and he got some bruises, but he might have won that fight. Otherwise, he probably wouldn't be sitting there. So shout out to you, Gary, with them hands. Because you was fighting 2 dudes at one time. So he's in there with his lawyer and they're asking him about, why were you dressed up as security? Do you know anything about the car? Because we think this was you. We also think that was your partner. Danny, he's just like, I plead the F. I plead the FIF. Okay, he ain't saying nothing. And the police chief, she's blowing Danny's phone up and she's like leaving him a message. get your ass down here. Because Gary is locked up. They're questioning about all these other things, and we need to figure out what is going on, because now the British version of IAB is looking for you. And Danny is screening these calls. He ain't trying to answer nothing, and he can't really answer nothing because you got questions to answer from Becka, because you have now proven yourself to be a liar. And now there's only a tiny bit of grace. Even Lena tried to tell Becka about this. She was like, well, he didn't know anything about him until years later, and I kept him out of his life until just recently. And Becka was like, you know what, I don't even fault you for that, because that's not why I'm mad at him. I'm not mad at him because he got you pregnant, and your son just happens to be 15 months older than mine. I'm mad at him that when he found out, he did not tell me, and he kept his other son away from his brother. So again, love Becka and how she can kind of sift through some bullshit, and she gonna give you grace in one area, but she gonna call a spade in the other area, and she's right. Y'all's relationship has been so open and so honest that when you found this out, why didn't you tell her about it? She wouldn't have cared about them being 15 months apart, especially if the truth is that the lady didn't contact you until years after this boy was born anyway. She wouldn't have held it over your head that you didn't know. But she would have absolutely wanted to get to her son to know his brother. And so that's kind of where Danny is sitting with her, and he definitely underestimated. It's like he forgot. I won't even say he underestimated. It's like he forgot that his wife is one of the kindest, most understanding people that he's ever been with. And he's just literally just throwing shit down the drain and just screwing up his life. For what? For what? She's always left an open space for you to be able to communicate. So I don't know, man. Like, I don't know, but she's over it. But at least the good news is the boys are so excited to have each other in their lives, and they're instant friends, and that's something that both Danny and Becka can kind of just like cling on to. Now, let's side quest a little bit to Alan, because we left him alone in the last episode. But in the last episode, Becka found out that it was Alan who did it. Then she also found out that Jean knew about it. At least she came into the information recently. And Becka was just like, girl, how can you even stay married to a disgusting man like that? This is nasty. Okay? And if you knew any better, you would separate yourself from this, because I'm absolutely calling the cops. Like, stroke or no stroke, he going to jail. Because you're trying to ruin my career, you're trying to ruin my reputation, and it's not gonna work. And she told him in the last episode, I'm gonna still do what I do and live the way that I live, because I am a grown-ass woman and you're not gonna stop me. She even made another post and was just like, what doesn't kill me makes me stronger. Hey, I'm accepting new yoga clients. Like, fuck all y'all school moms, church moms, this, that, and the third. Like, I have a job to do, and you're not gonna shame me. So shout out to Becka. Like, instantly became one of my favorite characters by episode 2, and I love it for her. So Jean comes out downstairs, and Alan's like, oh, look at what I can do, and he picks up the teacup. Bro, you think this relationship is gonna be healed? Like, don't nobody care that you could speak a little bit and you could pick up a cup? We don't give a damn. And Jean also, took Becca's advice into consideration. She's just like, okay, oh my God, so glad you're doing better. So here's some nurses that I hired. I'm leaving, okay? So I think I'm just about over being your girlfriend. I'm leaving. No more wonder what you've been doing, where you've been peeping. I'm leaving, yeah. And she's gone. Bye-bye, Alan. Nobody gives a fuck about your recovery. Cool. Now, Evie heads down with her daddy while all of this is happening, and they're chopping it up, and he even apologizes to her. He's just like, I'm so happy you came around, like, you're my little girl, and all these other things. And then they finally get to the cabin, and they're fixing stuff up, and he's just like, I'm just so happy the Lord shined down on you and Pete, and just congratulations to the both of you. And she said, Pete? Who said anything about Pete? And he was like, you and Pete are having this baby. And she was like, who told you that this is Pete's baby? And the daddy lied. What? She said, Papa, you said that it was a sin. And you actually prayed for my daughter to die because I didn't have a pregnancy that was natural. And so I went and naturally fucked somebody else unprotected that wasn't my husband. And we naturally got pregnant and it's his baby. And I'm actually really excited about that. And isn't this what you prayed for? Isn't this what you asked? And he's looking at her like the devil literally just came up from the depths of hell and swallowed his daughter whole. He's like, what the fuck is going on? And she's just like, Toodaloo, you can see yourself to the door. Like, I don't know what to tell you, but you should be happy for me. You will be meeting your grandbaby in approximately 8 months. Bye-bye. Love you. Thanks for apologizing to me. Really appreciate that. So then right after that, right, Evie calls Danny panicking. Oh my God, my dad has me trapped into the cabin and he's really upset and all these other things. Like, please hurry up and come down here. Now, at this point, us as an audience, we already see what's going on. We know this is a lie. He gets off the phone. Becca's like, why the fuck is Evie even calling you? You know what? We're both going. Because he was like, I'm going to go see what it is. Da, da, da. She said, no. We're both going because our conversation is not over. Okay. So while they're on their drive, she's like, you're going to tell me everything that's been going on with you because I don't know who you are. I don't recognize you anymore. I don't trust you anymore. And there's no us. There's no relationship if you're continuing to keep information from me. And so at this point, he has to tell her not only did he sleep with Evie again at his job without her, breaking the rules, but Evie is also pregnant, which then now you have to admit that you had sex with her, and you can't say that you didn't have sex without a condom, but you knew the condom split and you kept having sex with her. You came inside with her, taking her word for it that she was on birth control. How fucking stupid can you get is what Becca's face says, but her mouth says, you know what? This ain't nothing that we can't get through, but you need to realize that you are the one actively sabotaging and fucking shit up. And if you don't realize that you are the man who I actually want to be with and stop trying to walk around here as if you're somehow less than deserving of my love, then you absolutely won't have my love. Get this insecurity bullshit that you done developed all of a sudden recently since meeting all these other people. Get that out your fucking head. Stop lying to me. Be honest with me and we can move forward. So he tucks his tail between his legs and they both get back into the car. And they're headed to wherever Evie is. Okay. Well, Pete wakes up. And he's like having flashbacks of what was going on the night before when the cops knock on his door because they're looking for Danny. He got the gun in his back, in the back of his shirt because why? Just dumb. And he's fidgety and just all these other things. It's really fucking weird. Again, cringy is how I would describe Pete's behavior in the last couple of episodes. And so he's like, listen, I haven't seen him or whatever. So he goes back in the house and he finds a note from Evie. So in Pete's mind, Danny's nowhere to be found. Evie's nowhere to be found. 1 + 3 is 5 to Pete right now. So he's zooming. Still hungover or whatever. So Pete ends up going to her parents' house and he was like, where the fuck is Evie? And he's all super unhinged. The dad's like, listen, I ain't got nothing to do with this. Something wrong with that lady. How could you sit up here and allow her to be pregnant by some other man's baby? I don't know what y'all are doing. It's the devil's work. And Pete's like, fuck all of that. Where is Evie right now? I'm not playing with you. And the dad ends up telling him eventually and he leaves. But the mama is like, I don't give a fuck what you got going on with the daughter. I don't know what happened up at that cabinet, but that is your child and he is unhinged and something is wrong with Evie and something is wrong with him. So nothing better happen to my baby since you done sent him out there acting like this after her. Get the fuck over yourself and figure it out. So Pete's headed off to the cabin. He knows exactly where it is. They've been together for 17 years. At the cabin, Danny and Becca are in the cabin and Evie's in the tub. She looks at Danny, she looks at Becca, and she don't even flinch. She's just like, okay, well, I guess my boyfriend and my girlfriend here, because we're all gonna be this happy family or whatever. And Danny's like, here go our road. put some fucking clothes on, get out this tub, and we finna like take you back to your parents, and we finna figure some shit out, because like this ain't gonna work. So she goes in his dress and she tries to come out there on some gotcha shit with Becka, and it's like, oh, did he tell you like I'm carrying this baby? But Becka was like, girl, I know you slept with him without me, I know that you're pregnant, like old news. He and I aren't leaving each other, and it seems like we should have never brought you in on this. If we would have known that your mental capacity was at the way that it is right now, we would have never done this. So we take full responsibility. We'll also take full responsibility for this baby. Like, we're not gonna abandon you, but like, you need some help. So as this is happening, Pete bursts in, guns out, like looking real weird. And because he looks like he's never used a gun in his life before, it's actually really dangerous, because you don't know what the fuck you're doing. You don't know if it's a hair trigger. You don't know if it's the safety needs to be off. You don't know anything, but you holding a gun. Everybody's just kind of around, and for some reason, Pete is blaming Danny for taking Becka from him. And Becka is laughing at, not Becka, Evie. And Evie is laughing in his face. She's like, sir, nobody took me, and actually you could never lay the pipe down the way Danny did. I'm keeping this baby. I'm gonna be with Danny. Well, actually all three of us are gonna be together. I don't know what you're gonna do. But yeah. And Danny's like, time out, bruv. I don't want your woman. One, I didn't take her. Two, Evie, we will never, ever be together. Becka is who I love. We will do right by this baby, but baby, like, we are not a thing. We will never be a thing. We never were a thing. I don't know what the fuck is going on in your head, but this ain't it. All of this stuff is happening, and they're trying to talk Pete down from the gun. And he, in his mind, it's Danny's fault, and he's openly blaming him from helping him get the dishwasher out the fucking moving van, to just blaming him. You're always trying to one-up me, emasculate me, do all these other things, and then you take my woman, and now you do the one thing that I can't give her. So he's already like super spirally, and right when it looks like he's a little bit distracted, Danny goes and tries to wrestle for the gun, and the gun goes off. Evie then takes off running and screaming. So now we're back to the cold open and whatever the hell was going on there in episode 1. Evie's running. Danny and Becka are running after Evie, and Pete is running after Danny and Becka. So they get to this point where everybody's kind of like tired out, and Pete corners Becka and Danny, and Becca's in front of her man, and Pete's like, look, I ain't got nothing against you, Becka. This is all his fault. And she's like, Pete, none of this is anybody's fault. We can literally talk about this, right? And then Evie just kind of comes over, and she's trying to diffuse the situation, and it appears that she's coming to some sort of senses. And she gets Pete's attention, and he's just like, I love you. I can't live without you. You're the only thing that I love. I cannot breathe. I cannot live. I cannot exist without you in my life. And as Evie is trying to diffuse the things and to get him to calm down in some way, shape, or form, the gun goes off. So there's that. Who got shot? Watch the episode to find out. Y'all, this is crazy. What a finale. The plot twist, the twists and turns, everything that was going on in the neighborhood, what's going on in their individual lives, what's going on with all of them as a foursome together. Like, what could have been so beautiful and so fun and so amazing turned into something that could potentially be very deadly for one or more of the main characters. Who? I don't know. You need to watch it. But my final thoughts on characters, at least, are Pete and Evie. So like I said in the last episode, them being together for that long and being so young and just not having any experience with dating, experience with extreme emotions and stuff like that, and going through so much loss and stuff that they experience without any type of psychiatry or psychology or any behavioral health interventions, culminated into something so dangerous for an unsuspecting couple to go into this assuming that everything will be normal, just to find out that these are two people that are completely unhinged, and now somebody's life might be in danger because of it. It's sad, man. Somebody going out sad, and it is not It is not a good ending. I mean, it's like a good ending if you're watching it, but like for the characters and stuff like that, and just truly immersing yourself into the role, it's, you know, the only person that got a real good ending is Jean. I'm just be real. Jean made it out by the skin on her rehabilitated hip, and she is gone, okay? But as far as everything goes in the plot, like, it really shows you how your relationships must be so good and must be so solid, and the trust and the communication and the anti-secrets have to be there in order for things to work. And I'm pretty sure, again, Becka having all of these thoughts, like Danny said, you want to bring them in because you're attracted to them and you realize that they might be attracted to us, but they've gone through so much. Even if I say yes, now is not the time. But Becka kept pushing. And you pushed for something in a situation where they were both inexperienced and they both are in the middle of grieving. And now everything just kind of like spun on its head. And we're left with something that's akin to the endings of Why Women Kill. Like, there is no satisfaction. And again, as far as the main characters go, there are no winners in this at all. There couldn't be. By the time episode 3 happened, you kind of already realize there will be no winners in this, and nothing is going to be happy by the time we unearth all the lies, all the secrets, all the fantasies, and everything that's kind of going on internally and emotionally with our main characters. So thank y'all for going on this ride with me. I would love for another season of The Couple Next Door to be a completely different couple in a completely different neighborhood, and I would love for Channel 4, which is where this, you know, in London, and this is a show that it premiered on in 2023. I would love for Channel 4 to be working on a season 2 that is completely different as far as couples, and make it an anthological series like Why Women Kill, right? So keep the same title and keep the same premise, but giving us different plot points, because there's so much you can do with this. The Couple Next Door could be, you know, polyamory. They could be serial killers or anything like that. Like, you could just go through so much. So I'm super excited, and I'm happy that STARZ acquired this. And of course, I'm always thankful and grateful for any opportunity that I get to screen these shows for you all. It's been a journey. It's the journey. And with that, it's a wrap on The Couple Next Door. As always, like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave a comment in the comment box below, share the audio links from Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram at So There's That Podcast, as well as Twitter at Kivanchi and Blue Sky Social at Kivanchi. And with that, I'm gonna catch y'all in the next podcast episode.